Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you wanna end a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level? Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen of the War Room? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan, and I'm at my round table this evening with my good brother and partner in 2 of the other podcasts I do, our college football podcast, Quick Slants, and our NFL podcast, Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue. We got Fred Purdue in the building. Fred, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? It's good to be back. Good to be back, and there's a lot of craziness, man. This last week, I've heard a lot of beep, 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 because the Brinks trucks have been backing up all week long.
All week long. So look, everybody, I got to have Fred on because we about to go heavy into some football for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the show. And, I had to get my partner on since we're kind of on the off season from our show, but you can expect episodes every once in a while, especially when things like this, like the free agent frenzy go down. We actually tried to record an episode last night, Fred, but we had some technical difficulties, so we're going to do our thing right here in the War Room. So look, the NFL free agent period has begun, so it's a lot of old faces popping up in new places all over the NFL. Of course, the NBA MVP race is on fire. Just make sure you guys keep it locked right here. We're going to talk about all of this and everything else happening in the world of sports. And if you want to get in on the conversation yourselves, make sure you sign in right now to the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. Or you can join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us up directly in about 10 minutes as we talk the NFL free agent frenzy with my homie Fred. But we're going to open up the Digital Extreme Tech hotline, a little bit after we get into it. That number is 323-410-0012. Before we get started, make sure, like every week, make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air, that you check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google, and most other places you do your podcast listening. B. Austin and Jimmy will be with us in a little while after we finish our NFL heavy talk. But Fred, man, what's up, man? How's the week been? I know what's going on in the NFL right now, but you good? Before we get into this,
yeah, we good, man. We real good. I've even
still flying from ring number 6.
Yeah, still coming on that high, man. But I'm actually transitioning into that whole NBA thing. I really don't pay attention until after the All-Star break. But I'm still clinging on to that 8 seed. Those Miami Heat, they're right there, just kind of holding on.
So basically,
hey, that guy in LA,
basically what you're saying that there's no NBA in your life prior to the New England Patriots Invitational. And then after the Invitational, you need a few weeks to decompress, watch some people do some slam, 3-point shooting, and then you get in to that Heat mania
then we get back
down there in Florida. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Exactly,
I feel you.
Exactly.
All right, well, look, man, our hottest topic of the day, of course, is the NFL free agent period, which has begun. So let's get into this. And Hot Topics, everybody out there, is brought to you by MyBookie. Real quick before we this NFL, man, about how much money you can make betting on sports, like the NFL, on MyBookie. The NBA and NHL seasons are into their final stretches, so if you still haven't checked out MyBookie, this is a great time for you to do just that. Lay down some dough on the biggest games in sports. Join the War Room and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. You can get in a run around those other services when it's time for a payout. That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. win, they pay fast, no hassles. You're basically wasting your time betting anywhere else. They even have game live betting so you can place wagers after the game starts. I still don't know how that works. But if you join now, MyBookie will match your first deposit with 100% bonus. Just use promo code WARROOM or apps to activate this offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, get paid, period. All right, Fred, before we get into the NFL stuff, I just got one college NFL related question for you. Just wanted to get your thoughts on everything happening with the supposedly consensus number one pick Kyler Murray. Pro day, like, what's up?
Pro day, really good, really, really good for the most part. Pluses, he can make every throw. He measured out exactly like he did at the combine. Weight, everything was great. Every throw he made, he has a live arm. I mean, you can clearly see the ball jumps right off his hand. He knows how to. He has touch. That was one thing I wanted to see was did he have touch? And granted, let's just put this in a box here and let's be real about it. He's throwing against air, no pass rush, shorts and shirts. I mean, he's throwing to receivers he's familiar with like he's supposed to. He's following the process like a guy that's probably going to be the number one overall pick. So just putting that out there before we ever get into how good he looks throwing the football against air. But for me, what I saw was he can throw every route. He has good touch on it. He actually threw a couple flag routes where I was like, okay, is he just gonna just throw this thing, throw a heat-seeking missile, or is he gonna just kind of lay it up there just right so it can hit the receiver in his hand? He hit the receiver right in the hand, just like a soft pillow falling from the sky. It was perfect. It's like one of those things where you see a guy, he can throw with accuracy, he can throw with touch, he can throw with velocity too, and he's not just breaking a guy's fingers. His receivers' fingers don't look like Torrey Holt's fingers now. So he's the total package. I don't think the height's going to be a problem. I think he'll be able to maintain a decent weight. I think he'll probably be anywhere between 205, 210. I think that's something he can maintain without losing his quickness, his speed. And I'm just putting, like I said the last time I was on the show with you guys, I think he has a quicker first step than Michael Vick. I think he's quicker in a phone booth, you can't touch him. Straight line speed, I think he's fast enough. I don't want him taking off constantly, but if he's just extending plays, getting the first down every now and then, avoiding hits, that's great. But the one thing I wasn't so impressed with, and if I'm coming with the positive, I'm going to hit you with a little bit of negative. And this is just me nitpicking, me being a quarterback savant. I love this position. I study this position. His footwork wasn't the best. He has a bad habit of just and I've always noticed it. He has that when he's in the pocket and he's literally just kind of there. He's pumping his feet pretty well, but he drags his back foot a lot on deeper throws, and he doesn't get everything on it. And you can work with that. You can fix that. A good QB coach can help you with that. These are just nitpicking points. He just doesn't stick his foot in the ground and just let it rip a lot of times because he just has that arm talent. So if that's me nitpicking him, that's me nitpicking him. But for the most part, really like what I saw. I give it a solid B+. I think he'll probably be the number one overall pick. Josh Rosen will probably be gone. He's the best option.
We already got some detractors here in the chat room. Skyview says, come on, Fred and Dev. He said that cat is 5'10". He's not going to be an NFL quarterback. I'm like, well, if you pick number one, you at very least going to be an NFL quarterback for 3 or 4 years. So he got that long to prove himself.
I'll say it like this, and I know this is cliche, but Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater, and I know Teddy Bridgewater is not a great quarterback. We're talking height here. Aaron Rodgers is just slightly over 6'2". So this myth of this whole thing about tall quarterbacks, the NFL is no longer the league of the Peyton Mannings, the Dan Marinos, the 6'5", 6'6" statue quarterback. Those guys are dinosaurs. Those guys are, even your tall quarterbacks now are very athletic. I mean, and when you say athletic, when I say athletic, I'm looking at a guy like maybe a Paxton Lynch, out the league, but same type of build. Blaine Gabbert, out the league, but similar type of build. Carson Wentz, very, very much a bigger guy, tall guy, but very athletic. So you even with a Blake Bortles, a Colin Kaepernick, you have the bigger guys, but they're not statues in the pocket. And the smaller guys, they have their niche. They can be. It's about finding windows. That's what you're trying to do. You're not trying to throw over a 6'5" lineman. You're finding passing lanes, throwing lanes. It's about offensive line splits. It's a lot more. It's a lot more detailed than many are given credit for.
All right, and Scaview also says, FYI, I'm pumped. The Raiders got AB. All of that other stuff is noise, and we'll get to that in a minute. We'll definitely get to that in just a few seconds because we're about to talk some, everything that happened this week. A lot of free agent signings that we're going to get to, but we're also going to mix in some trades there because some of the bigger names that moved this week were via trade, and B. Austin is with us now. He couldn't stay away from this football. B. So look.
Absolutely. Never.
All right, so the first name, Fred and B, that we got to bring up, of course, let's talk Le'Veon Bell since he, it's been so long since we've actually seen him on a football field. So let's talk about him signing with the New York Jets, his contract. Now, this is what I had to question a little bit. So we definitely got to talk about what Le'Veon Bell ended up doing. I thought I had his contract numbers up here. Anybody got it right in front of them?
4 years,
$52.5 million. All right, $52.5 million with the potential for it to go up to $61 million. I believe $35 million of that is guaranteed. Now, here's what I want to ask you guys, because prior to all the drama with the franchise tag, the Steelers offered Le'Veon Bell a 5-year, $70 million contract with $33 million guaranteed. He turned that down. Then he, of course, we know the story of turning the $14.75 million franchise tag down to the point where he sat out for the season and lost that whole $14 million. There was even a tweet last season where somebody asked him to come to the Jets, and they said, we'll give you $60 million. And he said, $60 million is not enough for me to come run with the Jets. Ironically, after all the hoopla of the season, the off season, and whatever other portion of the season that Bell sat out, he comes back, signs with what I think is, an inferior team for, in essence, a guarantee of $35 million. So you lose $14 million, and then you sign with the Jets for maybe a $2 million more of a guarantee than the Steelers were offering you with the $70 million contract. And with it all being said, they said over the first 3 years of that contract, he probably actually would have made more with the Steelers. So I ask you guys this. Does players hate Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlin this much? Or was this just a pride, pick up your face after all of that stuff type of move by Le'Veon? And he just didn't get what he wanted.
It was pride. It was a little bit of both. He played the hand. He tried it, basically, you could say. It didn't work out as favorably as he obviously would have liked. And some of that is a matter of age. Some of that is history, but I mean, I don't know. I can't say what he did was wrong. It really boils down to what your value system is, right? And so I get the sense that Le'Veon was concerned with trying to make a lot of money, provide for his family, get a guarantee, and it worked in the sense that 35 guaranteed is not a bad number for a 27-year-old running back.
Right.
But you have to wonder if he could have done better by playing the cards a little bit different with the Steelers, asking for less money per year, but more guaranteed over the lifespan of that deal.
He turned down basically $14 million a year and $33 million signing bonus. I mean, $33 million guaranteed. That's because he wanted a number closer to $17 million per year. Out the year, you lose that franchise tag. I told you guys all along, even if I did not want to play for the Steelers, I would have come back and gotten my franchise money. I would have faked an injury at that point.
Oh,
I
yeah.
No. I totally leave with zero. You know what I mean?
I agree. And so then the question becomes more about today's athlete. Like, all right, so what does this do to your legacy? How much do you care about the game? Where do you end up long term in terms of, Hall of Fame consideration? Will you be able to play out the next, call it 5 years of your career and be super productive and on the same track that you were before this holdout? All of those things kind of come into play. So you got to ask, was it worth it? And was it worth it in turn? So essentially you sat out to get $2 more million guaranteed, plus you factor in the lost money from the season because he was losing like $800,000.
If you think about it, he's really in the hole for $12 million. Fred, what do you think about what he came out with? Because I hear a lot of people saying stuff like, "Oh, he's fine." So I actually talked to somebody today and said, "Yeah, he's one of these players that's power back, and he also got a year of rest, which is a great thing." I'm like, yeah, that sounds good.
He got a year of rest.
Might have factored into the fact that he got lowballed by a bad team and had to take the deal. But go ahead, Fred. I'll let you get your. What do you think?
So first off, about the deal, you know how I feel about running backs. I wouldn't have paid him that much. Good job, Le'Veon. You finessed the system. Number two. You wouldn't get So expect to miss the playoffs from now on for the next 4 years. You're in my division now. Please, we welcome that. But with this deal, I think the market didn't really open up like he thought it would. I think when he initially said I'm not playing this season and I'll go into free agency, he thought maybe there was going to be like a LeBron James type of effect where everybody was just going to come calling, dropping just ridiculous amounts of money at him, and it didn't happen. He's an aging running back. He's 27. He's not getting any younger, and you lost out on $14 million. I would have took the $14 million, like you said, and just faked an injury, something. I would have came out with zero.
My knee, I can't describe what it feels like, but it hurts.
Yeah. Something hurts. My leg hurts. My arm hurts. Something hurts. My pride. Something.
Casey Mack,
but when I look
group, Casey Mack was like, Le'Veon didn't really want to play for Pittsburgh. He still took the loss. You can never get that money back.
No, he can't get the money back. But that says this whole saga in Pittsburgh says so much about this organization. Yeah, and I can only give this organization a shout out on the Ryan Shazier thing where they took care of him. He's the linebacker. But when it comes to taking the organizational stuff on the field, paying players, this whole thing has just been between him and Dave Gettleman, who we'll get to in a minute. That's a blueprint of how to ruin a franchise.
It all starts at the top, and I will not allow the coach Tomlin to escape, some culpability in this. He is definitely culpable, but I'm looking more at the quarterback. I think the quarterback is toxic in his leadership. I think he's not a very nice person, and I think that you put some other personalities in that locker room, and that's where Tomlin kind of is at fault because he didn't manage these people accordingly. He didn't manage these personalities. He's a player's coach. He allows for certain
He's one of the boys. You know that.
Lackadaisical on the discipline side. So now what we could look at this as, Le'Veon Bell looked at playing the market. and made a calculated gamble. And I would say I think Dev definitely feels like he lost because you can't get that year back where you're losing $800,000 per game, and you sign a deal that doesn't really recoup that. The deal you signed doesn't recoup what you lost over the course. So in the grand total, you're in the hole, as you say, $12 million, and you get a deal that's comparable to probably what you should get. It's not a market-setting deal. You're not competing with Todd Gurley in terms of the economics. So essentially, you took a loss. You took an L.
And actually, if we want to go real deep into it, he is the only thing he has in comparison to Todd Gurley's deal is the taxes that are going to be taken out. Because guess what? Pittsburgh and New York taxes are completely different. So the money that he made, he would have made in Pittsburgh. You're going to lose about 35 million. You're going to lose about almost half of that. So good luck. Good job.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, it was just hard to understand. You know, like there's a lot of people out there defending him, saying, you know, I don't understand what power he took back. And the crazy part about it is I kind of called the Jets from the start because I knew what kind of cap space they had, and I knew what kind of desperation they had just to bring in a name to their situation. And he ended up going for that because really it was the only offer in that ballpark that he really got. So I don't really understand what he took back. You know, the person who said that to me, I haven't checked that social media post since then, but they're going to have to explain that to me. That didn't really seem, if it was a power move, I think it was a power move that backfired. But shout out to Le'Veon. He still got a lot of money. I just think in this NFL especially, you know, that's the league where you got to get as much money as you can because your time is short.
At the position that he's at, too.
You got to pinch every penny in that NFL situation. But, you know, if his priority is different, because a lot of people are going to put it on his priorities right now, where I really don't think it was a priority. I think it just backfired on him. But if it's a priority thing, then his priorities are his priorities. I hope that man is happy. Shout out to him. I look forward to seeing him back on the NFL field. He's in the wrong green uniform, but you know, it is what it is. All right,
he's the right green uniform. We ain't want him for that price.
For the price, he's in the right green uniform. I'm just talking about
even without the price,
just being who he is. He's in the wrong green uniform. You know, he should be in ours for like $6 million a year. Because we cheap like that.
I signed Le'Veon for $5 million a season.
Yeah, I know you will. For Le'Veon,
you and about 31 other franchises.
he is not trying to hear that. All right, let's go to the other Pittsburgh Steelers news before we get into some of these other names. This is big because this is a franchise that we look at as a stable franchise, and they seem to be kind of falling apart at the seams right now. But shout out to Gus Griffin, War Room Sports handicapper and writer. He published an article today on WarRoomSports.com, and he is a Steelers fan, entitled "The Myth of Drama-Free Steelers Nation." So, you know, that has a lot to do with the jettison of these two players. So make sure you go to WarRoomSports.com and check out that article, "The Myth of Drama-Free Steelers Nation" by Gus Griffin. All right, Antonio Brown was dealt, not really because the Steelers initially wanted to deal him, but because, you know, Brown and Drew Rosenhaus made a lot of noise, made a power move, got him in basically bad standing with the organization, and they finally obliged and got him up out of there. They sent him out to Raiders Nation. And of course, after the Raiders,
I didn't hear you real well. Did I hear you say he got sent to Siberia?
Fred is basically saying, my man, he got traded to and signed with solitary confinement. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So what was the deal again? The Raiders gave up. What did they give up? I keep thinking I had these things in front of me. And then, Then I lose him. All right.
A third and a fifth.
Yeah, a third and a fifth.
All right.
Yeah, they gave up a third and a fifth.
Pennies on the dollar.
And then they ended up re-signing him to a deal where he made up to $54 million over the next 3 years. He's scheduled to make like $30 million after previously having no money guaranteed on his contract with the Steelers. He can make up to $54 million with the Raiders. He's getting $19.8 million a year new money. So kind of after the Raiders refused to give Khalil Mack the contract that he wanted, they're willing to give a wide receiver the money that he
and
wants.
that's funny. Which position is more impactful? Which position is more impactful? Yo, they tripping.
Yeah, I mean we've been on record for years saying we think wide receiver is probably the most dependent position, not only in football but in sports, because I'm not on that train that Derek Carr is a bum. A lot of people are. I just think of course it's obvious that he's not what he was 2 seasons ago. It just could be that one season. That could be that one season of post-injury adversity. So we'll see if he can get back to where he was 2 seasons ago. But as we stand here, like it really doesn't matter who you get, who you trade for him, how much money you get, if you don't have somebody good throwing the ball to him. So I hope Derek Carr can get back to what he was. But right now, it's kind of a head scratcher that they give up this much for him, pay him this much, but you let arguably the best defensive player in the league go. I defended them on that. I'm saying when you're trying to rebuild and you have a tradable asset, then you let it go. But now, after defending them, on that, this makes me scratch my head, and I'm like, okay, why was I defending these fools if they're gonna come back and do something like this?
Can I take this one? Take a stab at this one first. All right, so Antonio Brown is 31 years old, so he wants out of Pittsburgh, where he has a quarterback that is. He's not elite anymore, but he's pretty darn good. Where he's getting roughly about 130 targets a season. He's getting about about 95 to 105 catches a season. He's over 12.
Let me call a 30-second timeout. Let me call a 30-second timeout because we got a excited Raiders fan in the chat room. Shout out to my man Skyview. He took all of his FOH. He said, "Have y'all watched Antonio? Only player better might be Julio. Y'all bugging." Okay. We're talking about impact here, though. We're talking about impact.
We're talking impact.
Yeah, because I'm not even going to, because Khalil Mack doesn't have any either, but I'm going to not only talk about Brown, Julio, let's take it back. Like, how many of the top receivers, all the guys that we know are bad dudes, like, how many of them
Who's
have
the last receiver that dominated the game so much to a point where they've won the Super Bowl? T.O. is the closest thing you've seen to dominating to the point where he can almost change a game, and he couldn't finish the deal. Because his quarterback threw. I'm throwing shade at y'all.
That's what I'm saying. Don't get us wrong, Skyview. We're not saying you didn't get a bad man. I think Antonio Brown. Hey, if you talk to me, if I break it all the way down, like to me, he might be better than Julio. Julio has more of the physical tools that you want to add to the skill set and add to the production.
We're
not saying that.
He has those goddamn.
We're not saying that at all. You got yourself a bad man. What we're saying is, arguably being the best defensive player in the league might be more impactful than the greatest wide receiver that you can.
I put it like this. Khalil Mack did more on defense by himself, and he didn't play every game than the Raiders' whole defensive front seven as far as pressure is concerned. One man versus a whole front seven.
Yeah.
Which one would you rather?
A part of that is how good Khalil Mack is, but a part of that is the position he plays. And I try and teach people this. It's a real fundamental common sense thing that you don't really hear. the farther away you are from the football at the snap of the football, and it doesn't matter which side of the ball you're on, the less of an impact your position has on the game. The further away you are from the football at its snap, wide receiver is literally the furthest away from the football. That's where they line up. And so it's like I can't – it's not a knock to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, like what you're saying, Dev, is Julio's more athletically gifted, but Antonio gets the maximum out of his talent. He gets the maximum out of what he can do.
He gets the maximum because he gets the maximum because better footwork, but you also have a quarterback that force feeds him the ball. I mean, that's and the whole.
I guess Kev thinks that this is like taking a shot, but he just made my point for me. He's arguing about Khalil Mack is like arguing Reggie White leaving the Eagles. Just saying. Exactly, Skyview. And every Eagles fan hated it because it was stupid to let Reggie White go. Thank you for making our point for us. Thank you, brother, for making our point. That is exactly what we're saying, because the Eagles letting Reggie White walk was the dumbest thing that the organization has ever done. I don't care who you get back in return. I don't care what offensive stuff you get in return. You just made our point.
You talking to two people that think Reggie White is the greatest defender that ever lived. Right.
Like, so it's like you just made our point for us.
He just compared Khalil Mack to the greatest defender of all time ever, anywhere.
So that's what we're talking impact here. And just like B said, like the three of us that, we always talk about, football starts and kind of ends with the fat boys up front. Those are the most important people in the field. Yeah, and quarterback, when it comes to a wide receiver, if those fat boys are protecting your quarterback and your quarterback is getting the ball where it needs to be, because Skyview is saying there was arguably the 2016 MVP till he got hurt. He's going to be all right. No doubt about that. I just acknowledged that a few minutes ago, but this is 2019, brother, and the last thing we saw of Derek Carr had people who aren't ready to give him an opportunity to prove himself again this year. The last we heard of him, he was not my words. I'm saying, the masses out there. I agree with you that, I'm willing to give him another season after an injury. But the last thing we have from Derek Carr is him being a bum and him crying on the sidelines, literally. So you can't bank on that. You can't bank on 2016 when we're going into the 2019, season. When the playoffs come, it'll be 2020. Like, we can't bank on that, dude. So, great offensive player. You didn't want to pay Matt. Pay a receiver?
Because, when we're talking receivers, I mean, there's so much that goes into it, because not only do the Steelers have one of the better offensive lines, that makes wide receivers' life so much easier, because he can attack all three levels of the field. You're not necessarily. I mean, the Raiders just traded their best offensive line, 38th ranked offensive lineman in the league, in Trent Brown. Cool, that's great. I mean, he benefited from Tom Brady throwing the ball 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, so. You already don't have the offensive line. You don't have the running game to supplement that wide receiver. And then you have a slightly above average. No, I'm just going to be honest. He's a very average quarterback, throwing the ball to Antonio Brown. So what happens when instead of getting 10 to 12 targets a game, he's only getting maybe 4 to 6 targets a game, and he's upset because he's getting double and triple coverage all game? Then what? Is he going to go cry on the sidelines like Odell Beckham Jr., or will he be a leader in the locker room and make someone else better by rolling coverage his way and letting somebody else?
He wasn't cool with that when Juju benefited.
Exactly. And by the way, Jordy Nelson is no longer a Raider now. So who's the other guy? Because Martavis Bryant is gone, and you don't really – who else is there? I mean, these are all questions I have.
Jordy Nelson wasn't there when he was there, so he didn't really.
And
Fred brought up Odell Beckham. Speaking of Beckham, Beckham has been traded to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a first-round pick, the number 17 overall. which is the second of the third round picks, which is number 95, and safety Jabril Peppers. Cleveland adds more firepower to their young and growing offense. I love the direction that the Cleveland Browns are going in, but I think a lot of people are probably need to pump the brakes on this situation as well, because you're already hearing Cleveland fans, and this is a fan base that has endured a lot of heartache. It's kind of unfortunate to see them screaming Super Bowl because of an off-season trade.
Can we win the division first?
You
Can we win the division first?
We win 8 games first? Can we? No. Can we have a winning season first?
Can we have a winning season?
And winning season is only 9-7. Like, can we do that first?
Can we? Derek Anderson
still
has the most wins in Cleveland Browns history since 2000. Just putting it out there with 10 wins. Just putting it out there.
It's funny. It's funny, guys, because when the trade happened and I thought about their roster, I'm like, damn, they do got a lot of firepower. They got
David Njoku.
They got running backs galore, and as much as I don't like
Kareem Hunt,
Baker's white Hunt is in the mix. Much as I don't like Baker's white privilege, he is a baller and a half, I believe. But it's still the Cleveland Browns, so I don't even want to say what I really think, because y'all will laugh at me, and rightfully so, because it's the Cleveland Browns. Like,
okay,
I have to find something wrong, and so the wrong I'm gonna go with is I don't really know their fat boy situation up front. So if their O-line isn't nice, then I'm gonna say that's gonna hold them. That's what's gonna hold them back.
Playbook.
Yeah, that's what'll hold them back, because their skill position is a problem. Woo. Woo.
Yeah, that was my issue a couple of years ago when the same New York Giants team that traded a couple of years ago. Me and Dev had a nice conversation on Cover 2, and it was, are the Giants a Super Bowl contender? And I said no, because, and Dev, you said they would be a playoff contender. I said no, pump the brakes. You got a tight end you got Evan Ingram, Odell, you got Shepard, Eli's playing well. You have all these weapons. Guess what? You have no offensive line. And Eli is going to be running for he's going to snap the ball and someone's going to be right in his lap. And it came to fruition. I don't know if you guys realize this, but newsflash, Joe Thomas has been retired almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Joel Bitonio is the only offensive lineman they have.
He was. Joe Thomas, he retired to get out of this mess. I know he probably wishing like he just stuck around.
He's like, where was this the last 2-3 seasons of my life? So that's why. And they have the pieces on defense too. That's the thing. They have. You have Denzel Ward on the other side.
Defensively, they are monstrous, but I am scared. I honestly, because I know it's Cleveland, I honestly am scared to say they'll go 8-8, and they should go 8-8. But I'm scared.
They won 7 games this year, so hopefully they take the next step, man. I have nothing vested in the Cleveland Browns, but I'm tired of seeing them beat the Browns. I hope that. Yeah, I know they will be exciting.
I tweeted out.
They get more ratings on NFL Sunday Ticket, but can they win some games?
I tweeted out when that trade happened. I said, move over Kansas City, Cleveland, just bring it. And I mean that, and that's me trolling. That is the ultimate troll for me, because we know they should have the 6 Super Bowls. I mean, let me repeat that. They should have the 6 Super Bowls, not my New England Patriots, because they had the guys that could have built the team. They weren't patient enough. So I actually welcome this. And that Browns team actually does play my New England Patriots. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. If I'm happy in the middle of the year, you guys know they aren't all that great. But if I'm at the point of wanting to have a couple drinks, you know what happens.
No, they could be pretty damn good and still lose to the Super Bowl champions. I mean, losing to the
B.
Super
Austin, do
Bowl.
me a favor. Repeat what you just said. I didn't hear that loud enough. Say that thing again.
It's your
fine.
year. We big with ours. It's your year. Again.
Losing to the team that lost to the Eagles in the previous Super Bowl is not 8-8, man. I can't say Cleveland's gonna win.
Still levels to this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, losing to the champions is not nothing to sweat. All right, let's go to the phone lines real quick before we get into some other names, man. We got the homie Tobias on the line. Oh, Arizona. Tobias, what's going on, brother?
Took y'all long enough, man. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah, Tobias.
What's going on?
It's your show, brother. It's your show.
Hey, Fred out here bloviating and stuff.
Tobias?
I'm like, come on, man. What's going on, fellas? I love that Stephen A. term. Hey, Stephen A. even read out the dictionary, find the words, but a couple of things about this free agency. I remember people shouted me down last season when I said the Giants were damn fools for paying Odell and drafted Saquon Barkley when you had a good quarterback draft. And now they believe in the book of Eli. Well, the blind man was reading that book, by the way. But anyway, Eli has stunk since he won that Super Bowl when Obama first took office. That's when the last time this guy's been good. And we about to, and Trump's about to, we about to have another presidential election. That's how long it's been since Eli's been good. This dude's been living off Super Bowl like Al Bundy living off 4 touchdowns at Polk High. That's what Eli is right now. The Giants are like the Arizona Cardinals out here in total denial. You are in a rebuild. Why are you paying wide receiver top of the position money if you are in a rebuild? Why are you drafting a running back number 2 overall if you're in a rebuild? That's the time where you have every reason to tear it down because Saquon Barkley, damn good player, but you wasted his prime years, which is right now, because you're trying to rebuild and hang on to a horse that should be in the glue factory.
So what do you think about moves that your Tampa Bay Bucks made? What do you think about them trading Sean back to Philadelphia? Philadelphians are high.
Oh, you mean Randy Moss? You mean the short Randy Moss?
Right. What'd you think about
Tobias?
He can no longer take the top off your defenses and no longer do that for you. He can no longer stretch the field and all the other cliches that they use. Eagles fans are hyped because they never wanted to see him go. They act like we lost Jerry Rice.
Tobias, before you answer that, you're looking at social media. It's really disgusting how Philadelphia Eagles fans are like super excited, like we got Jerry Rice back.
Ew.
Like they act
like we didn't win a Super Bowl while he was gone. They're like, the final piece to the puzzle is here. We
with Nelson Aguilar, who could catch. But here's the thing.
My man, listen, before you add one more thing, every playoff game that Deshaun Jackson played for the Eagles, it amounted to 3.7 catches, 51 yards, and 0.5 touchdowns. That's what he averaged in 8 playoff games. If y'all don't get the F out of here, but go ahead, Tobias, man. Talk to us about the short Randy Moss.
Yeah, I was about to say the Bucks GM is one of the dumbest GMs of football. The only one who's dumber than him is the Giants GM. Mind you, go 5-11, 2 straight damn years, and you still bring Gerald McCoy back at 31 years old at $13 million a year, and all he good for is 5 sacks. But everybody keep telling how great he is. You can't even remember the last time he dominated Alexander go. You can't give – the 49ers just gave all that money to a 225-pound middle linebacker who missed the most tackles in the league since he got drafted, and coming off an ACL he tore him in November. But Deshaun Jackson, that's one of those guys where they shouldn't have signed him in the first place because I believe he's one of those players you got to have on a veteran team with a strong coach and a veteran quarterback. And because he has always been an all-time great deep threat, but the guy doesn't run a route tree, he runs a route bush. He doesn't have so many routes. He runs a go route and a slant and a post, I think. And if it's over the middle, he ain't catching it. If the ball's not in his hands at the right time, he ain't going for it. And there were times he fell asleep in meetings, went off on the coaches, threw everybody on the bus, told Jameis that he didn't want to do extra work because he's a veteran. He shouldn't have to worry about practicing, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, if you ain't got a connection with the guy, you should be working on that connection. But they got what they could for him for a 6th-round pick. And I got to touch on y'all talking about AB and Le'Veon team to cut a fool so they send me home. AB
take the 14 and do your driveway and lift weights like TL.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
I'm getting my money though.
The running back prime is when they get drafted. And that's why I think some teams might as well just pay the guy now. Because or tear the contract up early so you get those years out of him. But I think what people don't realize, I know people are hanging on to Derek Carr like 2016 with his sun shining on the dog ass here. That's what we're seeing right now. He's not a bum, but he's captain check down. Look at those yards per attempt out there. And what Fred will tell you this, when Belichick and company went against Le'Veon Bell, not Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell was the most important out of the two for the Steelers. He really made that offense really, really go. Because he could catch, he could run.
Malcolm Butler got destroyed, but we'll let you destroy Malcolm Butler. Go ahead.
Yes. And see, that's what people don't realize. They looking at AB, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have traded for him or paid him because you rebuild it. Why because what people don't realize with Khalil Mack, a rush in is one of the top 3 most important positions in football with left tackle and quarterback. Those are the 3 top positions. Those people don't go on free agency or get traded like that and invest in their position. If you weren't going to pay him, why are you going to pay Antonio Brown, who's on the wrong? And I said this about the Browns, and I'll shut up. I know people like Baker Mayfield. There were no expectations last year. It was all hunky-dory, peaches and cream last year. It was all Hugh Jackson's fault. Now you got all these weapons. Now you got 2 running backs who people like. You got a good defense, but you got a coach. Well, Freddie Kitchens to play at Alabama. He's called a hot plate Freddie Kitchens because he never missed a meal when he was a quarterback at Alabama. He looked like hot plate John Hot Rod Williams back in the day. But there's a lot of pressure on this head coach who never coached. He never ran a team. And so I think people need to pump the brakes. We hear this every year, a hot team who never did anything the year before, and who knows, someone may get hurt. They're going to be playing primetime games like at New England. You really think Belichick will let little Baker Mayfield tear him up?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it looks, man.
Not that defense you saw in the Super Bowl, definitely not.
Yeah, and I got to say this before I go, guys. All I got to say is that Kyler Murray, it's okay. You can stop taking your creatine now and start drinking 8 gallons of water. You're going number 1 overall. You don't have to lie about your weight, that little fella.
Leave little
all right,
dude
Tobias.
alone.
Thanks for your call, man. As usual, we holler at you.
Hey, y'all take it easy.
All right.
All right, Tobias.
He said he can stop drinking his creatine. All right, so just to finish off the whole Deshaun Jackson talk, B, how do you feel to have him back in Philadelphia? Because what I'm hearing is that his arrival might mean the exit of a Nelson Aguilar, which, is not a super big deal, but Nelson Aguilar had come into his own after, being a straight-up bum when he first got into the NFL. He played a big role in helping those guys win the Super Bowl. So what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think there's going to be enough balls to go around. Pause. I think that if you have a starting lineup of Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, then you're looking at, Golden Tate, Nelson Aguilar.
Golden Tate just signed with the Giants, so you ain't got to worry about him.
Oh, he up out of there? Nelson.
Yeah, he just signed with the Giants.
And Jordan Matthews.
4 years and 37.
Is Jordan Matthews gone?
Not officially.
Not officially, but
officially. I mean, if he's there in that capacity, Nelson Aguilar is your starter right now.
Nah,
don't know if that's gonna.
He can start. I guess he remains the starter in the slot.
Yeah, but I hear he might be going if Jackson is coming. Period. Paul.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't want to look at this through a biased lens because you know how I feel about Deshaun Jackson. I think dude is way overrated.
Right.
So we're on the same team on this one.
As do I, but when I looked at it, because can't look at it through the lens of normal Eagles fans because they just think Deshaun Jackson, like Tobias said, is like little Randy Moss. Look at it from the lens of, all right, he's not the same Deshaun Jackson that's coming in trying to. I don't know. I didn't hear the terms of his contract. He's not trying to come in and demand Superman money for being Wonder Woman. He's
stop insulting Wonder Woman.
They didn't give up a lot to get him. Really, it was like a pick swap because we're getting a 7th pick along with him, and giving up a 6th round pick. If you look at it from perspective, they went into last season. They went into the Super Bowl season with Smith
contract
starting.
Details, by the way, are 10. He's getting $10 million.
Okay, so you went into the Super Bowl season with Smith starting, and his job was to quote unquote stretch the defense. Last season, you went into the season with Mike Wallace as the starter before he got hurt. I can say if we're just comparing, I'd rather have Deshaun Jackson than Mike Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's
from that.
Real.
But if it's the same Deshaun that's going to come in and start fussing when the ball's not coming his way, then that's going to be a problem because we actually got rid of the quarterback who throws deep the most. Like Nick Foles throws deep more than Carson Wentz. So you might.
Let me ask Fred this because. Have you seen any all-22 tape? What is your take on, and I'll ask both of you this, what is your take on his speed and his ability? Ted Ginn is a corny dude, so he don't have no girlfriends. He eats healthy, and he's still fast. So he's still fast because he's corny. But if you're not corny and you partying a little bit and living, your speed starts to erode. Is Deshaun Jackson still able to quote-unquote cliche, take the top off the defense? Because if he is, then the benefit is it opens the field up for Zach Ertz and Alshon, if he's not dropping the football, to run underneath and play in those spaces. But if he's not the same 10-4 100-meter runner, then, what do you guys see in terms of his speed?
I got a chance to see Deshaun in Tampa, and that's the thing. Because I am here, I get a chance to see him a little bit more than most. Got a chance to see him live this past season. He still has the semi game breaking speed, but the way the
Deshaun that loses a step a little, Fred, is still faster than most. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's still faster than most, but the NFL he came into is different than the NFL he currently resides in. And the way that you use Deshaun Jackson now is you use him on bubble screens. You use him run after catch. You don't just simply say run a fly route, run a post route, run a curl and just beat a guy run a curl and just juke a guy out. No, you put him in space. And you have him put him on a bigger safety. If you put him on a guy like a HaHa Clinton Dix, you put him on a guy like a Landon Collins where he's just that much more faster. He's a better athlete than the guy he's going up against. That's how you use him versus you use him in pick play situations. He's not your number one. He may not even be your number two. As a matter of fact, before he went to Tampa, I actually said he probably should have went to the Raiders and should have been a slot receiver to open things up for Amari Cooper and Martavis Bryant a couple years ago.
No, brother. We don't do that. We do not do that. Is way
Deshaun like around the middle of the field. What the hell's wrong with you? I mean, he would have been a slot receiver that just ran down the seam every play, but
it makes him eat up space on safeties, and now you can open up that space for a possession guy like Amari Cooper versus making him work against double coverage.
You're speaking from a coach's perspective. You're not speaking from a cowardly lion perspective. Coach tells Deshaun gonna fake an injury. He's not getting in the middle of the field. That's another thing.
Even in theory,
that was a joke, but another thing is keeping him healthy for 16 games. Like he's always out with some little nagging injuries.
He's a little guy, and you're
Allen Iverson. If Allen Iverson played football,
we have literally seen that dude say, "Nope, I'm not doing that." Like. If you put him, you could say run down the seam all you want. The fact that he's lining up inside that close to human beings that are twice his size, that alone, he's going, yo, I'm not doing that. That's not who I'm not with it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
You know what though? You know why?
Cool.
You know why though? Do you guys remember when the Eagles played against the Falcons years ago? And I think it was Donta Robinson.
Of course, Donta Robinson.
He cleaned his clock.
Yeah, he died.
Deshaun
died that day.
And Deshaun touched the middle of the field ever since that day. So
he has not been there.
That was when the NFL was real. We could actually hit people back then too.
Donta knocked himself out on that play. He is not, and that's real. He really has not been in the middle of the field since that day. That's not a joke. He's like, I'm cool. Nope.
And I'll say this. I actually, for about maybe 5 seconds, I said, man, I wouldn't mind Deshaun Jackson in New England. But then I'm like, no, that wouldn't work because the idea sounds great because of the way our offenses move. We're a bubble screen, smoke screen, do a lot of quirky things with our screen game, and he would be great for that. But at the same time,
but he's scared.
If Brady wants you to go over the middle of the field and just run, he's not going to throw it deep to you every time, and he's not going to touch it.
Plus, Fred, you've already had Deshaun Jackson on your team. Well, not really, because I was about to. We
actually do. We have him now. His name's Philip Dorsett, and he does absolutely nothing. So
no,
very
but
similar player.
You had my man. You had Brandon Cook. This is true. His soul left his body in the Super Bowl. That's when you guys had Deshaun Jackson, but he never got to suit back up for y'all. That's what he would have been. He would have been Brandon Cook, who's afraid to go across the middle. And after Brandon Cook said it, he probably in the same boat right now. so you had him.
Yeah. You're right. You're very right.
All right, so let's talk about Nick Foles. Fred talked about the beeping noise from all the Brinks trucks that everybody been backing up this week. Nick Foles signed a 4-year deal in Jacksonville for $88 million, and that with incentives can even go up to $100 million. Jacksonville reached like plastic on this one, and Nick is my man. $50,000, y'all know that, and I want him to get his money, so I'm glad he got his money. But I'm like,
I'm happy for him.
Oh yeah, I'm happy for him.
I'm happy
but
he got paid, but this was a very bad move by Jacksonville. Let's just say whenever free agency happens, I always go look at teams in the AFC first, and I say, I can count this team out, this team out, this team out, and that team out, because I know they're going to overspend, and I know they're going to do something stupid, and it's going to cost them the following year. This is one of those moves that I say, this is going to really hurt you, because it's great to be Robert Horry in the playoffs and you can just show up, but it's a whole nother beast when you don't have it all. You don't
call my man.
You went Robert Horry on my man. You can't go Robert Horry on my man. You can't go Robert Horry on my man. You know why, Fred? You know why you can't go Robert Horry on my man? None of these shots that Robert hit that we celebrate, or broke anybody's championships.
Yeah, you're right.
If he didn't hit them
Not
shots,
only-
Lakers
not only-
would still be champions.
Not only that,
like people
not only that,
blow Big Shot Bob shots. So
not
much.
only that,
But
I'm
without
gonna go
Nicky,
out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb. When my man was 27-2, all right. So I'm going out on a limb and prisoner of the moment. Where would you rank him in terms of quarterbacks that year, Dev? 27-2. He was moving the rock.
See,
He was top 10.
reason. No, he had to be. I mean, he came in midway through the season and played himself in MVP contention. So he had to be top 10. The only thing is, it wasn't a firm top 10 because he hadn't done it before, and we had to wait to see if he could do it after.
Fred,
you know what I'm saying?
Fred, Robert Ory is much closer to the brothers on this show. Robert Ory is much closer to the brothers on this show than he is to the best power forward in the league. 7.4, 4 rebounds, 7.4 points a game, and 4 rebounds. Come on, man, don't do that to me.
I said that in the context. I know how you feel about Robert Ory, but I said that in the context of he makes big moments out of his big moments are really in spot duty. And that's what Nick Foles has been for you guys. And granted, he showed up in the biggest stage.
But Nicky Foles, even in bad games, even in statistical floppers, all he does is win. Even the year after the 27-2, when all the Eagles fans were like he got to go, and he got hurt, and Sanchez came in, and everybody was happy to see Nick go because they wanted Michael Vick. He was still 6-2 at that time, and was playing like pure D trash.
Here's the only problem I
but
have.
He makes
with
enough plays at the end to win games. Now this is what we need to look at. He hasn't proven that he could win, or for that matter, even play outside of Philadelphia. He hasn't proven that.
My issue is what happens when you lose Jason Peters protecting you, or what happens when you don't have, Zach Ertz catching the football for you. Lane
when
Johnson
you lose,
protecting
you
the
lose
other
Jason
side.
Peters protecting you, you're going to win Super Bowl MVP. What you talking about, Fred?
No. I mean, for another team, you're going on for 16 games. Not
I know
a
what
playoff.
you mean, man. You know we just.
Yeah,
caping for our man. This is a bad contract,
I know.
but I'm glad he got it.
What you got to do. I know.
It's a bad contract, but I'm glad he got it.
It's a terrible contract.
You know what? He deserves this contract for winning the Super Bowl for my fantasy league. He don't deserve it from us.
Yes,
we ain't saying that.
I think he's underpaid. Fred, he's underpaid. They need to double my man up. He's underpaid.
The way you feel about him, the way you feel about him is how I feel about D Ford. So don't feel bad. And D Ford doesn't even play for my team. D Ford's the MVP of the league because without D Ford, there is no 6 championship. Just saying.
Understand this. We caping for our man because he made us look real good. Because me and B never wavered from belief of this man, and all Eagles fans. I mean, believe it or not. Everybody doesn't feel like this. There's a big contingency of Philly fans who appreciate him, love him. There's still people out there like, yo, Nick Foles trash. Because they take
How?
Like, we're supposed to be rooting for the name on the front of the jersey.
Nick Foles
and these
isn't
fake
trash.
favorites, man. And if he ain't Mike or he ain't he trash.
Nick Foles isn't trash, but he's not. Nick Foles, if you said he's a starting quarterback in this league. I will not say he's not. He's
just paid 88 million.
Teams, he's closer to maybe 20 to 20, anywhere between like 18 and 22.
Damn,
then he's like 18 to 22. I mean, let's be as a full-time starter, week to week, game to game, in that division. Because by the way,
he's ranking. I think he's ranking him overall.
His rank.
Overall,
it's all good.
Yeah,
all good.
Overall, in the league right now,
quarterback with an MVP. It's all good,
Fred. It ain't 22 quarterbacks. It ain't 21 quarterbacks better than Nick Foles in the league. It ain't 18 quarterbacks better than Nick Foles. I'll grant you he's not in the top 10. he's probably not in the top 15. I give him 15 or 16.
I'm willing to go. 15 is
now
there's
some bigger names than Nick Foles, like dudes like Cam Newton, but Nick better than Cam.
He's better than Dak. He's better than Dak and Stafford, but he's not better than he's not better than like a Deshaun Watson or a Cam Newton. Okay, that's where
he's better than Cam. Yo, Cam is trash. Cam is trash.
But see, Cam gives. See, but here's the thing: what Cam gives you outside of the passing game is what makes Cam a complete. That's what. We
got an NFL quarterback. We got an NFL quarterback that throws the football and does not know where it's going. Can you all agree with that? That Cam makes throws and he does not know where the football is going.
Cam is a spot thrower, but that's not the point. That is not the point.
Like Nick Foles.
Don't do that.
Nick Foles don't do that. He's closer to. He's like a Joe Flacco. Like he will have
perfect
season performance. But if you get that man in the playoffs, you better play well.
Cam throws the ball. Cam throws the ball hard as shit, and somebody's 5 yards away. He has no touch. He misses high. He's good. If you're an opportunistic safety and you read well, you're good to get a pick off.
They had Devin Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin as his number 1 and number 2 receivers. All of his receivers.
Don't make excuses. My man
this is why they're compensating. You know this.
Let me get into some more of these names. And these I'm gonna just read off some of the quarterback signings. There's nobody else on this list that we need to actually talk about. So I'll just read their deals and we'll move on to some bigger names. But Tyrod Taylor keeps getting signed. He signed a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Chargers. Tyrod Taylor is good for race relations in the NFL. Like we can't keep complaining about how they keep that quarterback signing Tyrod Taylor. Brett Hundley he signed a 1-year, $1.8 million deal with Arizona. Ryan Griffin he re-signed 2 years, $2.9 with Tampa Bay. Austin Davis.
Teddy Bridgewater just re-signed with the Saints too.
Austin Davis announced his retirement at age 29. He gave up, like, man, this shit. Derek Anderson re-signed 1 year, $1.1 million with Buffalo, and Matt Schaub re-signed 2 years with Atlanta. I don't know the.
Matt Schaub is still in the league.
All right,
Matt Schaub is still collecting a check.
Kareem Hunt out here getting lowballed because he kicked white girls in the back. He signed a 1-year, $1 million deal with Cleveland. So if Cleveland can somehow get him on the field this year, they are good because they're going to have Kareem Hunt. You know, Chubb did his thing, but Kareem Hunt's better than Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson. They could possibly say if they end up imposing a 4-game suspension on my man, and I might be lowballing it, like after 4 games, you can get Kareem Hunt on a $1 million deal, and he's going to play hard as hell because he's trying to get a contract. He's going to be trying to get a contract, so that's crazy.
They gave my man Kareem Hunt $5 and a Slurpee.
Tevin Coleman, 2 years, $8.5 million with San Francisco.
That was a very good signing. That signing was very, very good, Tevin Coleman.
That was. I heard some Eagles fans saying, we should have signed him. I think that was a good signing for them, but I don't think we needed to sign Tevin Coleman. Mark Ingram, 3 years, $15 million deal with Baltimore. So
that was surprising.
The Saints no longer have that 1-2 punch. Saints no longer have that 1-2 punch. Of course, they kept the best one. Baltimore's trying to tool back up. They were in
rebuilding mode. I just want to put that out.
They weren't trying to pay them.
After letting go the guys they let go, are they in rebuilding mode?
They're trying to win now. They signed my man Earl. They signed Cornbread Earl, and he's trying to go for it.
You talking about Baltimore?
You let go of Baltimore, yeah, you let go of T.
Baltimore.
Sizzle, you let him go, and then you turn around and you let C.J. Mosley go, which that's understandable. I wouldn't pay a middle backer that anyway, but still, you let go of big names that were in.
They just signed Earl Thomas, right?
Yeah, but he'll be hurt.
Great. And they let go of Eric Wells too, so yeah,
he'll be injured.
They signed Earl Thomas 5 years. Earl Thomas is 4 years, $55 million.
Is Earl Thomas still walking after what's going on? Man, let me. I love
walking
Earl
the last
Thomas.
time we've seen him. His middle finger was doing all the walking.
And clearly Dallas didn't want him because they didn't want to pay the high price for him. He's still
So what
begging
do
to go
y'all
to
think
Dallas.
about the Saints at there? Because I don't know if y'all remember, but I was one saying like Fred, I remember because I said it on cover too. I think the Saints window is closing much faster than people think.
The Saints window is closed. It's done.
And the fact that they lost one of their 1-2 because they had become running back dependent over the last 2 seasons. Like they have Drew
Brees has taken a very large step back. They
become a first team, and to lose one of those guys, albeit not the best of the two, I think what I was saying, that window is not what people think it was. They're not going to be out there just trashing people this season like they were last season. So we'll see. Adrian Peterson.
They got to pay Michael Thomas, by the way, too.
$5 million with Washington. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think that's a good signing?
Decent signing. I mean, he'll split time with Darius Geis once Darius Geis come back.
I don't even know if it'll be a split. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say Carlos Hyde 1 year 2.8 with KC.
So
are we? Somebody asked this in the Game Time group the other day. Like, do we still believe in Carlos Hyde? I think it was
no.
Frank Gore, the number 4 all-time rusher in NFL history, still signing deals. 1 year, $2 million deal with solitary confinement. I mean Buffalo.
Biggie Smalls died on March 9th.
Buffalo when AB says, I don't want to be here, with a young quarterback who can throw it a mile.
Yeah.
Yo.
So let's list some of these wide receivers. Like any big name that any name y'all want to talk about, just stop me. Larry Fitz re-signed with the Cardinals. He's a loyal dude.
Siberia,
1 million deal with the Cardinals.
Yo, give it up and go somewhere and win you a title, man.
Yeah, you gotta go ring chase, man, or something.
Go chase, Larry. I mean,
damn.
Larry needs to go to the Patriots.
Loyalty don't pay.
We got a place for Larry in New England.
As soon as Larry go to the Patriots,
he'll give us his number 11 too.
Golden Tate, 4 years, $37.5 million with the Giants.
What? Let's stop there. Can we stop there?
We can stop there.
What in the hell are you doing, Dave Gettleman?
The Giants are tripping. The Giants are tripping.
You don't draft a quarterback. You draft a running back number 2 last year. Then you pay Odell. Then basically you say give him away for pennies on the dollar. I don't care if you get a first round pick.
You paid him $21 million and then told him to go that away.
And then you turn around and go sign a guy that the Lions gave up. The Lions just said, look, just go over there. We don't want you anymore. Go to a team that can make the playoffs. And that same team says, no, we don't need you. And you get just a big deal.
And I like Golden.
The Giants
Golden had like one meaningful catch for the Eagles. He had like one meaningful catch. He did, help us win that playoff game. But before that, like, people were wondering.
The Giants sold their soul for 2 Super Bowls, and now they got to live with all the stuff that comes with it. This is what they deserve.
The Raiders, the Raiders signed Tyrell Williams, 4 years, $44 million to run alongside AB.
Who?
So.
Tyrell Williams he's actually a pretty good receiver. He's a big body receiver. New England actually was
coming. He's trolling Skyview at this point.
I know.
Skyview, what you think about Tyrell Williams? Oh no, he already said that. He already said something about that earlier. He said Tyrell Williams is going to have something to say about Brown getting doubled.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, but I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Man, AB is getting 15 targets a game from here on out.
Yeah, they're going to double Brown. Ain't that damn good. And I like him. I think he's good, but he ain't that goddamn good. John Brown, 3 years, $27 million with Solitaire with Buffalo. Devin Funches, 1 year, $10 million with my Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, that's what I said. My Indianapolis Colts.
Devin Funches is about to ball out because he's with a real quarterback and he don't got to jump up and.
I was about to say Devin Funches. He's a big receiver with a lot of potential, but he would show flashes and he would be ass. But now I'm wondering if Devin Funches' breakout season, like you guys said, then that might come all down. That might come all the way down to being Cam. So we'll see with Devin Funches. Jamison Crowder, 3 years, $28.5 million, next to Le'Veon Bell.
Step him up. Jamison Crowder.
Here's a deal I don't understand.
Very underrated move.
Adam Humphries, 4 years, $36 million with Tennessee. Don't really
New England tried to sign him. I'm so glad we didn't do that.
Especially for that money. And Adam Humphries is not a bum, but
no,
he's
not at
not
all.
a bum.
But he's
playing with a bum. He's playing with a bum ass.
Yeah,
Adam Humphries is more like a 4 year, $25 million or a $20 million guy. I'm not willing to give you $36 million.
Even less than Tennessee. Like you don't go to Tennessee to catch passes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why he's running in the wing. That's the wing T offense.
Your scrambling quarterback. Maybe get some screens.
He's a split out tackle.
Cole Beasley bounced out of Dallas and took his bars to solitary confinement. He's in Buffalo, 4 years, $29 million. Go ahead, B. My bad.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. One of the things that makes me most angry about Jameis Winston is he hasn't been able to distinguish himself from bum-ass Marcus Mariota. Like, come on, dude.
And has all the weapons in the world. They literally draft every year around him.
Yeah. So,
before you go on, Dev, I want to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
You took your favorite quarterback and gave him Jameis Winston's offense. Would that quarterback win a Super Bowl? Or at least continue. You have Mike Evans.
You would have to.
You would have had Deshaun. You have all of those weapons.
Yo, you would have to. The Harvard boy in there made the offense look good until he self-destructed like he usually does. But the Harvard dude came in there and made them look like the 98 Minnesota at one point. Like,
but and they also look like a JV offense too.
What up,
halfway through the season.
Yo, what's good, Fred? You said win a bowl though. That's a much. Like, I can see maybe they look better, but winning a bowl is a bit much. And you talking about Deshaun Jackson? You talking about Deshaun Jackson as if you're actually saying something.
No, for him.
What's the name of the other side?
What I saw from that is you have a quarterback. A quarterback can make a guy look a lot better than what he is, and you have all of those weapons. They're complementary type weapons. That's why.
I'm a bit biased.
Here's the thing,
I'm a bit biased because I picked Jameis to be good, but I'm like, yo, dude, all you're busy doing is stealing chicken wings and buying copies of Dre's panties and all types of crazy stuff instead of playing football
and licking his fingers on the side. We eat a W.
Made him look good, but the Harvard Bowl also like the reality too looked a little trash with them as well.
That's what I say. He self-destructed like he usually does. Like go gadget self-destruct. Like the Harvard Bowl, we knew he was gonna do that, but the fact that he was able to make him look good, Jameis got to light it up, man. He got to be better.
When Harvard Bowl comes in the game, the defenses automatically play for the run, and they open up down the field. And Harvard Bowl throw the ball so early that he just lets anybody run under it. Once people scheme for that, and they start rolling the safeties back, and Harvard Bull's still throwing the ball deep and early, that's like just throwing up a punt. So it always works that way. He always comes back.
You saying a broken clock is
deeper
right
than that, though.
Is that what you're saying?
He literally reads his press clippings. It's about making adjustments towards him, because if you watch him play, he just seems like every time he does well, he starts to like himself, and then he realizes like, I'm not that good.
I mean, he knows how to.
Maybe he has like a mental problem where he's like scared of success. Like, certain people in life, they get a certain level of success, and like being great scares them, so then they back off.
Well, Jimmy, that makes sense. I mean, you graduate from Harvard and then go play football. He's scared of success.
Yeah, see, he's
scared
about
a lot more money, Jim.
Noodle.
There you go.
Some of the
He's
fat
scared
boys up front, man. Trent Brown on a 4-year, $66 million deal with Oakland. So Oakland Oakland out there trying to make some moves.
That was
Donovan
a terrible
Smith.
signing. That's a terrible signing. Very bad signing. No, and I don't want him back. That's the thing. I don't want him back because he was the 38th ranked offensive lineman. And I'm not talking. That's amongst all linemen. You're going to pay that guy, and he benefited from Brady and company throwing the ball 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. He's not a great pass blocker, really.
Let me ask you a question.
Oakland is out here giving away money.
Hold up. So you're saying that how many linemen are on the field at any given time? For how many linemen start in the NFL?
Really? Because you have a swing tackle there.
All right, so you have 6. How many teams in the NFL?
32.
So you're talking about what? 132 people that start on the offensive line, and he's ranked 38th, and that's a problem?
Yeah, that's a problem because he's a tackle and he's not great at all. He's playing out of position. 2, anytime Brady really got hit, it was more him than anybody. Interior, the strength of that Patriots offensive line was the interior, not the tackles. Marcus Cannon and
all I'm saying
Trent
is,
Brown.
Which is why they let him go.
Top 4 for the league. All I'm saying is, based upon what you told me, he's in the top 4 for the league in terms of being offensive lineman. Based upon what you told me.
I'm just putting. Yeah, it's the schematics of the offense. If the ball's coming out, literally 1.5 seconds after the ball is snapped, he's not actually blocking.
All right. Let me ask you a question too, because here's something I noticed about you, Fred. So me and Fred are friends on all social media, and I don't say nothing all the time, but I'll be watching. It seems like anybody who signs in the AFC is a bad signing. You don't have that same sort of vitriol in the NFC. So I'm thinking there's something else going on here.
No.
Jim, are you saying that Fred saying if they ain't a Patriot, then then F them?
Pretty much.
No, but at the same time though, if you do sign 4 years, $66 million, you probably should be ranked a little higher. But the market's barren right now.
Exactly.
I mean, he's young, and if he gets the right offensive line coach, he could be really good. I mean, he's 6'8", like 340, and he's playing tackle, and he moves okay. But at the same time, you don't have Brady and Josh McDaniels scheming around every team where you're getting the ball out 1.5 seconds.
Nobody else does. So he's supposed to stay there for less money. He's supposed to stay nobody has that except for the Patriots.
I mean, if you want to win championships, if you want to go to Siberia and get paid, I'm not mad at him because he got his ring already. So at this point, he's winning. He got his ring. But if you understand, you're going to Siberia and you're never going to win much anymore. So I mean, which do you value more?
So you think you should stay for less money? You should stay for less money when you have money out there. Like I don't understand what you said. Like, so everybody should just put the Patriots for dirt cheap then.
Honestly, the Patriots would have probably paid down 50. I'd say the number would probably be like 52, 55. So it's not that bad of a difference. But the thing is, did they offer him that, or that's your speculation? No,
y'all
didn't offer him.
Spending a lot of time on the 38th ranked offensive lineman in the league.
No, because to me, it's something else going on here. I'm just pointing it out. That's all.
I mean, I know what he's doing. So I'm just indulging him right now.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, hey, 38 makes you in the top quarter of the league in terms of your position. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm just gonna go to the edge defenders. DeMarcus Lawrence, franchise tagged by Dallas. Jadeveon Clowney, tagged by Houston. Clark, tagged by Seattle. D Ford, 5 years, $87.5 million to line up off sets for San Francisco.
That was the best deal of the season. He is the MVP of the league. Just put it out there. He should have won the MVP. He should have. I would be willing to say, look, Julian Edelman should give that Super Bowl MVP to him. He is the real MVP.
After that mistake, I tell y'all, I ain't signing D Ford to a 5-year deal in outer space. And he's a good player, man, but that's just too much, man. He made the bonehead.
Game was over.
Here. Like, how do you like when you're that far across the line? How do you not know that you're across the line? Like you're not even.
Game was over.
Hugging the offensive line.
Anybody. Game was
over, y'all.
Game was over. Trey Flowers, 5 years, $90 million with Detroit.
That one hurt. I see what Matt Patricia's doing. He's trying to build New England Midwest. I mean, he even signed Justin Coleman, who was a Patriot and went to the Seattle Seahawks. He's trying to build. He's taking a lot of his old defensive players he had and trying to recreate what they had back a couple years ago. I don't think it'll work. Detroit's cursed.
All right, on the inside, Grady Jarrett, franchised by the Falcons. Sheldon Richardson, 3 years, $36 million with Cleveland. Cleveland tooling up everywhere. Malik
Sheldon
Jackson
Richardson keeps moving around, but he keeps finding ways to just. He's really good. I don't know why he keeps moving around so much.
Something wrong with him. Malik Jackson, 3 years, $30 million with Philadelphia. I don't think there's any more names worth running down this list. Got to ask you about the Landon Collins deal. And we'll get back to C.J. Mosley in a minute because he's done 5 years, $85 million with the Jets. Alexander, 4 years, $54 million with San Francisco. San Francisco trying to buy a formidable defense out here. But this whole Landon Collins thing with Washington, he signed a 6-year, $84 million deal with Washington. From what I heard, shout out to Hank, they're giving him 21. Is that true? I haven't heard that, and I live in Washington.
I haven't heard that, but I hope they don't. That number is sacred in Washington.
But $84 million deal for a box safety.
Right in the box.
He's not. Don't do him like that because he's really not just an in the box safety. That's where his strength is. But he's a little.
He struggled in coverage this past season. He might have been uninterested because he played for the Giants, but he struggled in coverage this.
Fred, your man is a little bit of a ball hawk. He does ball hawk a little bit. That's true. However, cannot cover in terms of actual coverage. Getting picks does not. Can't cover.
No. I don't want him. But to completely call him an in the box safety 100% no.
He's not. I don't want him playing free.
I don't want him playing free either. But I'm saying he just don't put him as don't completely call him an in the box safety.
Listen, man, I'm gonna bring him down.
He has other traits in his game.
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah.
Listen, I think they're grossly overpaid, and I don't know who they're pairing him with. For this to be, if you pair him with the right player,
Jabril Peppers.
He doesn't get.
Remember, Jabril Peppers came over from the trade.
Yeah, but Peppers a true free? Do you want Peppers?
He's not a free at all. He's more of an in the box guy. He's an in the box guy.
Yeah, he is. He's
the true in the box guy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Washington's doing with their safeties.
And they let go of Ha Clinton Dix, and they let go of DJ Swearinger. So I'm sorry. That's Washington. So I'm sorry. I don't know what New England or New York's doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't get it.
You know what the situation was? I'm reading it now. Dan Snyder gave him one of 2 signed game-worn Taylor jerseys that he had, and he wore.
Oh yeah, because he was a fan of Sean Taylor.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's there. They haven't assigned his official number yet, but he's saying how wearing 21 would be an honor. So it sounds like he's kind of politicking for it. I don't see it happening because Sean Taylor is treated like a god around here. I just don't see that happening. So
overrated.
Hey.
Yo, B got bullets.
Hey, I'm not a Washington fan, but that's my guy. Okay.
I mean, listen, I respect the talent, but what they try and pretend. Listen, Jimmy, you on the air?
There yet, but he was an ascending player.
Yo, Jimmy, break that down. How they celebrate when you die.
Listen, man.
Him and Incredible Hulk, they had lined up with him. They had some coverage issues back then.
What college is Sean Taylor going?
Of course he went to the U. Come on.
Huh?
He went to the U, of course.
Okay, so I'm just pointing out again, Fred. Never mind.
Well, see, Sean Taylor. Believe it or not, Sean Taylor.
I'm just pointing out.
Sean Taylor was my
Fred.
favorite Miami Hurricane.
I'm picking up on you now, Fred.
I know.
Fred,
I know you.
I don't know about you and objectivity, man. That's all
do.
I'm saying.
I see what you're trying to do, but
I mean,
because
listen, I'm not going to disrespect Sean Taylor, but all I'm gonna say is, man, rest in peace. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Because
he was the fact is godlike player that everyone makes him out. His highlight reel was great. He couldn't cover the way I wanted him to, but he wasn't. I mean, he had only been in the league 4 years before he was killed. So you don't know what he would have been after the fact.
No,
but you did see he
I know what he was. I knew what he was in 4 years, though.
Listen, I believe I'll give you the benefit, Fred, of this. I honestly believe that outside of you know what? I'll keep it real. He was the most athletically talented and gifted safety I've ever seen. But as far as what that translated to on the field, dude wasn't top. He wasn't the top safety in his division.
Oh, can't tell him that around here.
That's
around here.
That was B-Dog. That was
hey,
B-Dog.
in Washington, he's better than B-Dog. He said he was better than B-Dog.
Better at what? Yeah, right.
He wasn't better than B. Heck, he wasn't the best safety on the team in college. But the thing is, he was an ascending player.
He was ascending. He was, but
heck,
in college, didn't he with the greatest safety of all time? Arguably.
Oh yeah, Ed Reed, of course. He played with Ed Reed, and he could. And as a matter of fact, he couldn't. If you guys remember Antrell Roll, he couldn't beat Antrell Roll out in college.
Right. You're so we just gonna leave Ronnie Lott out of the conversation but we're not talking about that.
Oh.
Listen, dude is gonna end up with number 21. We're gonna end up with number 21. I don't think that's kosher or cool, because of obvious reasons. I get it.
Yeah, but they would have to be really excited to do that because of the way they treat Sean Taylor around here. I don't know.
Landon Collins would have to be like the best.
Might be a mutiny.
If you bring in the best safety in the league, maybe you bring Earl Thomas or something in, maybe in his prime, I'd be willing to give it up. But Landon Collins, that isn't worth giving up for 21.
Yeah, Landon gonna be here for 2 years.
Yeah, what did you think of the C.J. Mosley signing from him leaving Baltimore? 5 years, $85 million. That's a bit rich for my blood. For a middle linebacker.
Yeah, definitely a bit rich. Like you kind of alluded to earlier, the big story in that to me is everybody that Baltimore is losing, though. You know what I'm saying? To lose a C.J. Mosley at the same time to lose a T. Sizzle, what's going to happen with that Baltimore defense?
And then Lamar Jackson can't throw the football. Boy, it was ugly last year. Is he going to make a jump to the point where the offense is going to be that much better? I'm not willing to bet on that.
But as far as the Mosley signing, though, we talked about it earlier, and the fact that we kind of the Jets are just going to be there throwing around money because we knew they had the most money to throw around. So they're gearing up things right now. You know, they got themselves a good middle backer. I agree that they probably overpaid for him. You know, they got themselves a very good running back. Even though he wanted way more than that, they probably overpaid for that as well. But they had to secure the bag. They had to let them secure for them to secure the name.
The two most overpaid positions, the two positions that I would personally, if I'm building a team, I would never overpay for. The Jets overpaid for middle backer, which is a dinosaur position, and running back, which is a position. It's just there's no value in it. As far as now, players are good, but there's no value in paying a running back because running backs don't get you to Super Bowls or win you Super Bowls.
All right. Well, we are running out of time. We got some left to talk about. You got more names that we just have to say as far as I don't really have any. I don't have any. No, I don't have any. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, I do. Tyrann Mathieu. Moving to the Chiefs.
The Badger. 3 years, $42 million with the Chiefs. Honey Badger, the dude, stay getting signed. What are your thoughts on?
I think it's a big time move. Their secondary is very bad. They need more help than that. And they let go of Eric Berry, so is that really more of a lateral move? I would think so.
Right. I mean, it was definitely a problem for them last season because as much as they lit everybody up in the NFL, games they had to because they were getting lit up as well. So, I mean, he's going to solve your problems, but we'll see what moves they continue to make and how already on that defense continue to grow. They're going to have to be. The Chiefs are going to remain in that Super Bowl contention, maybe for the next few years. But they're going to have to be better on defense. In order to, that's Captain Obvious analysis right there, but they definitely have to be better on defense. You can't just go out there and depend on the fact that you could possibly score 40 points every game, because sometimes in the worst possible times, maybe playoff time, you might throw up a stinker every once in a while, and you're going to need that defense to come through and play for you. They had a few good games down the stretch of last season, which made me think they would go into the playoffs and be a little bit better. So, the potential's there. So we'll see. But Fred, man, as usual, thanks for joining us to break down all of this NFL stuff. You can catch Fred and I on Cover 2. If you want to hear more NFL stuff, you can catch that on YouTube, the War Room Sports YouTube page. And you can also look out for some college football talk on Quick Slants, also on the War Room Sports YouTube page. So, Fred, we will holler at you next week, good brother.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Fred Purdue, everybody. And real quick, we're going to get into our stat of the week. The homie, Lou Willville, he is now with, on Monday night, he scored his 11,148th career point, which surpassed Del Curry to become the NBA's all-time leading scorer off the bench. Like, when you say that, it doesn't sound all that impressive, but how impressive is that to you fellas?
I'm more impressed that Del Curry was that high up. I didn't know.
Jim said, forget Lou Willville. How'd Del get that many points?
Yeah, but the Lou Willville.
I find it impressive that Lou Will has accepted a bench role for that long, and he's been on teams where he's been better than the starters.
Absolutely. I'm surprised Jamal Crawford isn't in this conversation, but
Oh, he got a
Lou Willville has the same statistics, if not a little better, than Manu Ginobili. But Manu Ginobili is considered a Hall of Famer, and Lou Willville, is considered Lou Will. And probably because of the Spurs and other reasons. But it is what it is. Just want to put that out there.
Coming at man, yeah. Damn, Kylie. How much you pay for that, Jim?
I don't know, but it's fine.
Yo. All right. I gotta start looking at some Kylie photos. Anyway. Anyway, y'all know the drill. Y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. If you want to talk to us about any of tonight's topics, just make sure you give us a holler. 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you already listen from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. Real quick, man, while y'all were on the grind, we got a couple of topics here. And On the Grind is brought to you by the greatest sports book in the history of sports books, and that's Sports Book. Smart people only read the sports. Make sure you check that out. You can get your copy from our website at sportsbook.com or warroomsports.com, written by War Room Sports' very own Jim. It's not that bull crap that you used to. Make sure you get it. But did y'all see the video of James Dolan, Knicks owner, actually banning a fan from MSG because as he walked by, the fan screamed out to him, "Sell the team." So he stopped to have a conversation with this guy. And I didn't know. I thought it was like, okay, he threatened to ban him. But then you see, articles and stuff the next day where he followed through with it. I mean, you heard him in the background when he asked the dude, you want to get banned? You whatever he asked him. But then you started to hear people pointing him out, like, keep him there, hold him there. Like, is that a little too sensitive? I mean, we had the whole situation with Westbrook and the fan, but
he's JoJo. He's our first JoJo candidate of the show.
Like, because this dude obviously is a patron of your team. He's sitting in these expensive as New York Knicks, Madison Square Garden, and they're expensive everywhere for the product that you're doling out. Like, he didn't say anything egregious to you. He just said sell the team. But he obviously still supports you and is putting money into your product, and that's how sensitive you get.
Everybody wants him to sell the team. You gonna ban everybody?
Right. What they should do in honor of this fan, Jim, at the next game, when they see dude, they should start, the whole arena should start chanting "sell the team." Then what are you gonna do?
Yeah, you stole my thunder. I was gonna say that.
You don't want.
I was gonna say that.
You don't want to test the billionaire, though. He might bring a fire out in there and light everybody up. He might be that upset. But, yeah. You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself. Jim Dolan, a noodle for that. Jim, another case of doing it for the gram. Doing it for the gram goes wrong. Y'all man Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, posted on his Instagram page a video of him driving 105 miles per hour somewhere in around, I think, somewhere on the Beltway of Baltimore. So now he's apologizing for it. And in the video, what they pointed out in a lot of the articles is you can clearly see a light on his dashboard that said somebody in the car didn't have on a seatbelt. And he's on Instagram bragging that he's driving 105 miles per hour. What do y'all think? Doing it for the gram, yeah.
Young boy, yo. It's funny because I wanted to slander him all kinds of ways. Then I thought about it like, thank God I didn't have IG when I was that young, because would have done something like that. If we keeping it real, if we keeping it real,
that's my thought, Jim. Like, before you even say it, keeping it real, like, we've all done that, especially back in the day. You're young, you get something new, you get something fast, like, you out there drawing. But we didn't have Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or anything to draw for. So we just did stupid stuff. But now they have the opportunity to be even stupider, and they take every opportunity to be so.
I remember me, PJ, and Justin. Shout out to Justin. Race cars on Lincoln Drive. And for those who don't know what Lincoln Drive is, let's just say that's where Teddy P.
Don't snitch.
I raced cars on Lincoln Drive with Mav BM.
Yo.
Shout out to her. So, she was crazy because she had the super joint. So, I wanted to test. And, this is a crazy story. I probably don't know on the air. I'll tell y'all later.
My whole point is, it was
crazy stuff. They have the tools to be even dumber with these days. And you just got way too much responsibility being the quarterback of an NFL team who's always under scrutiny to be putting this kind of stuff on Instagram. So, come on, man. I got to give you one.
I'm so thankful for that, man.
We've all been dumb.
You should be ashamed of yourself. The way you carry yourself.
So for the people out there listening, right, we give out JoJo by saying that we didn't have any awards ourselves. If I had social media as a young boy, I have a whole case full of JoJo awards.
Because we like the boy Charlamagne. Like, we will give ourselves, a JoJo. We do something stupid.
This and dumb.
And if we just want to talk about old, we can get on air and just talk about old stories, giving each other JoJos all night.
Yo.
Somehow that sounds like it should be paused. Pause that.
Yeah. That gave her a JoJo.
We'll pause that anyway.
Yeah, man. So, let me give some birthday shout-outs real quick, Dev.
Okay.
Before we move forward. Yeah. I'll be real fast with this because we ain't got that much time left. But just want to give a quick birthday shout-out to one Simone Biles, turns 21. Stephen Curry, 31. Antoine Smith, 47. Larry Johnson, 50. Kirby Puckett, 59. And Wes Unseld, 73.
It's my birthday. Yay!
Yo. Steph, 31?
So when you, yeah, 31 already.
I said, yeah, that's crazy. Crazy.
Remember, Steph went to 3-4 years of college. So Steph went that prodigy. But he did a 2-time MVP though, so to hell with being a prodigy. Simone Biles, when you're 22, can you still do they take people that old to the Olympics? Like, she gonna be in 2020 because she's still better than all these things. They just seem old. They be taking gymnasts at 14.
She up in age for a gymnast, but there's gymnasts that go all the way into their 30s.
Damn.
She's just. I was about to say, I wouldn't even feel right though if I was 30 on the Olympic team with a bunch of 14-year-olds.
She's just too old for Kelly now.
Bro.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some hoops with the 5 minutes that we got remaining. And of course, Hoop Talk is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, custom website solutions, you need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And yes, financing options are available, so visit digitaltech.com or call 720-54203. And for those discounted rates, if you want something, you want a little off on it, just tell them the boys over at War Room Sports told you to call. So let's talk. Let's go on some NBA. Real quick, the NBA Players of the Week is one Andre and B. Austin's favorite guard of all time, Mike Conley Jr., coming off the heels of his first ever 40-point game. Yeah, Mike. Andre Drummond led the Pistons to a 3-0 week. He averaged 22.3 points, 18 rebounds while shooting 66.7% from the field. It's obvious that he didn't do 76ers this week because he don't do that against JoJo.
Tee that JoJo award up for whoever was defending Mike Conley and the team that, you know, if you let Mike Conley score 40, you get a JoJo.
All right. So Mike Conley did lead the Memphis Grizzlies to a 3-0 week while scoring 31.3 points per game, 7.7 assists per game, and shooting 57.4% from the field. I asked when he had that 40-point game, man, I posted something on our Facebook page asking people where they think he ranked among NBA point guards. And a lot of people said he was probably a low-end, top-end guard in the NBA. Do y'all agree with that? Well, Jimmy, do you agree with that?
I mean,
like even at the ass be
I think he is. I think he is. I think he's either like around 10 or maybe 12. Like he's a solid point guard. He's not like a star, but he's not like he's pretty solid. Like he's just you know. He's like a who can I compare him to? Like a Mookie Blaylock. Like Mookie Blaylock was nice. He wasn't one of the elite guys, but he was nowhere near trash either. So he's like
he was one of the respected
guys.
He's
solid.
I got him like a Haywood. I got him like a Haywood Workman.
Come on,
Bimbo Cole. Bimbo Cole.
Funny thing is, he's naming solid point guards, but just on name value, it just sounds like he disrespected him, and I know he is.
Yo, he is.
Bimbo.
Be Austin fight on that line, dog. Mike Conley can make the next All-Star games. He gonna continuously call you know what I mean?
Oh, he called that man
Sedale.
Yo.
Nah,
Sedale was nice as hell on live back in the day. But anyway,
I don't know who I got him around there. But we had a graphic where somebody ranked the starting point guards in the league. The graphic only had the first 15. They had Steph at 1, Kyrie at 2, Westbrook at 3, Dame Lillard at 4, Kemba Walker at 5, Ben Simmons at 6, D'Angelo Russell at 7, Kyle Lowry at 8, Chris Paul at 9, De'Aaron Fox at 10, Eric Bledsoe at 11, Jamal Murray at 12, and then you got Conley at 13, Trae Young at 14, Rubio at 15.
He's not better than Rubio. He's not better than Rubio.
Here's the thing.
He was just dissing Rubio last week.
He was slandering Rubio last week. He ain't better than Rubio last week.
And Rubio had
keep
having a year
keep that same
right
energy,
man. That's why he's doing it, because he slandered Rubio. Like, he ain't better than Rubio.
Yo, but here's my thing, right? I'm not mad at that list. Like, I would move people around on that list, but overall, I think that's a solid list. Like, I would change a couple. Crazy part. Here's the crazy part. At one point, Kyle Lowry couldn't get in the game because he was starting. Yeah. He was sitting behind
Trav Shamockery. Trav Shamockery.
No, you can't say that you thought Kyle Lowry was going to be this good. Like, this dude's a perennial all-star.
I thought he was better.
I thought he was going to be just like, a defensive backup point guard. That's what I thought he was going to be. He was a perennial all-star. Real quick, man, this MVP race. I guess the major players in the race right now, Giannis, the Beard, Paul George, and then the honorable mention people, maybe Joel Embiid, who shows his worth when he's on the court, but he missed those 8 straight games, and it seems like his name is falling out of the conversation completely.
Yes.
And I forgot who the 5th person would be. Kawhi Leonard, I guess. I don't know.
I think to me, from what I see, is down to 2 people at this point. It's
Giannis and the Beard.
Whether they want to, whether they want to give.
Can I tell y'all this?
Want to go with Giannis.
Can I tell y'all this? Like, do sports for a living, and we talk basketball nonstop. Yo, I did not realize that James Harden was averaging 36 points a game. Even with the streak and all that we were counting, and I didn't realize he was averaging 36 points a game.
He's averaging 36 a game.
And that's not a scoring average, man. that team with him, I don't know. I think he might have picked that team up and kind of brought them out of the dirt. I think in a couple of weeks when we make our picks, I don't know. I think I might be going Beard over Giannis, but we'll see.
I'm not saying this is why, but I just want to make a correlation that once the Rockets got rid of Melo, they went from being the 12th seed to like being in the top three for the as soon as they got rid of him. No. I'm not saying it's his fault, but look at the timing of that though. I don't know what he did to that team, but once they let him go, that's when the streak started. That's when the team started winning. I'm like, yo, what the hell is that about?
Not his play. It's
anyway,
just his luck. Just his karma.
Yo, but here's what I'll say about the MVP race. It always comes down to two guys that both deserve it. He is carrying that team. He's doing his thing. But I honestly think that this is Giannis' year because it's an overall push to make him like one of the new faces. So I see it in the advertising. I see it in how many national TV games that Milwaukee is getting. Like last time I saw Milwaukee on TV, they had like Paul Pressey. But now Terry Cummings, Sidney Moncrief, one of them jokers. Jack Sigma, but he's got them back on the national stage. He's got them on the national stage. He's getting commercials, and you know the NBA is about making that bread. So to me, it's like everything is shifting that way. But Harden is making it difficult because he's just having a historic season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I definitely see the push because I thought it was like Giannis's award to lose. And then the Beard, even though, like I said, if this makes sense, he's exciting to watch, but his game is terrible for the league all at the same time. Like, that's bad basketball. Yeah. It's very bad basketball the way he plays, but you also got to give him props. Like, seriously, that team was, they were underachieving like a mug. They were injured. This dude just brought them people up out of the dirt. It's going to be a difficult. Like I feel for those voters, yo. I tell you that.
Out Serge Ibaka for putting the young boy in his place and showing that young boys with grown men.
Did he? Serge,
don't mess with grown men because he.
Serge don't play that standing over him after you knock him down stuff. He got to grip him up. Missed all of his punches, but you're used to seeing that in the NBA. Point blank range, missed.
Hands is trash. His hands is absolute trash, but the one thing I want to say about Serge, he don't play that hold me back game. He don't play that hold me back game, even though he can't fight.
He run behind his teammates, act like he wanted the ball. He got it. Chris was like,
he got that one right ball.
Grown ass man.
His hand is absolute trash, but what I would say is he bought that. So shout out to him. And I also sit back when I watch that real quick. The last thing I want to say is I sit back and think about the fact that, OKC had him, Harden, Westbrook, and Durant on the same team. That is crazy.
It is. The 3 MVPs.
That's its own thing. A solid big man who's like not a star, but a solid big guy. Like they had all
we got to get out of here
at the same time. Yeah, man, it's time to get out of here, man.
MVPs and the big man.
For joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, and our group chat. Anybody following us out there, we appreciate those we couldn't get to. We apologize. Shout out to Fred Perdue for his contributions as always. Tune in next week live right here on demand. We catch you up everything happening in the world of sports, specifically the NBA season. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the start of next week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Catch all of our conversations, everything we do. Facebook, Twitter, all of our blogs, our webcasts, podcasts, anything we do can be found at warroomsports.com, in my book, Sports, the Book of Sports, thebook.com, or at the hub, warroomsports.com. But until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war of ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
Jimmy, know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. warroomsports.com. Get that mobile app. It's knocked out. 323 Swords and 0012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like Magic and the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop dollars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, TJ, Shot Back, the Officer. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.